Welcome back. You're watching Gender Discourse, and today we are talking about the girl child and how daughters are actually a blessing to society. Well, folks, if you have a point of view on this issue, this is your turn to bring it on right now, as all you'll have to do is reach us at 1800115313. That is 1800115313. Well, having said that, we are joined by Abdul Munaf. So, Abdul, if you're there with me, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
I have a comment to Dr. Deep that she is blessed with two angels. And the basic thing what I want to say is, in the beginning of the show, you had started like Aishwarya Rai has given birth. But we in India, as a diverse country, as a large country, I don't think that will be...
I'm afraid your voice is cracking, Abdul.
Sorry?
Your voice is cracking. I am not able to comprehend exactly what you're saying.
1 minute. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, now I'm audible?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. If related to celebrities,
Yes.
there we have more villages than urban areas. There are lakhs of people, they might not know who Aishwarya Rai is. The basic thing is we have to educate people from the grassroots level.
That is right. Abdul,
let
let me just button here for a moment. See, when we pick up a celebrity case like that, and if you say that Aishwarya Rai is not known, let me tell you that she is one woman who is known everywhere, right? And when we pick up these issues, it becomes easier for us to send them across to society because society is already talking about that issue. That is the only thing, and that was the only reason. That is why I started it like that. It has no more meaning more than that. So please understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I belong to a village where many people don't know Aishwarya.
Right.
That is other issue.
Okay.
My thing is, if one female is educated,
right,
that's saying that the whole family is educated.
True. But even that, I could have a problem with that as well. That why is it that the onus lies only on the woman to educate the family? Let the man also, kind of pitch in somewhere.
He'll be more busy with his stuff. He'll be busy with his stuff. But
today the women are also very busy with their stuff. They're also, getting into the family income and everything. So let's not get into that. Maybe you must call in some other discussion of mine. Well, Rizwan, because that could be another gender discourse actually. So Rizwan, I want you to comment on what Manoj from Rajasthan had to say. He spoke about the machines and how these machines are coming back. But again, coming back to the same thing, that the people who should be punished are usually, they all go scot-free.
What Mr. Manoj told us about, the selling of machine. First, we should realize that we have gone to the stage of, at least inspection. Earlier the situation was completely different. If I give you an example from Rajasthan, I have seen Rajasthan going through many phases, passing through many phases. There was a time when there was nobody knew about the P.C.P.N.D.T Act, but today, no doctor actually can say that they don't know the law. No official can say that they don't know the law. No NGO can say they don't know the law. Everybody, even media, even lawyers, everybody is well aware of this law. See, it's not that. Even before the law came, or even before, during the law phase also, everybody knew that practicing sex determination is illegal. But why this became rampant? The problem was we were not actually able to implement the law. Implement, when I say implementation, that means the monitoring, that means the record keeping, everything by the doctors. So I come back to the person who called us about the selling of machine. See, there are certain rules and regulations, that everybody has to follow. When a machine is sealed by the appropriate authority on account of some violation by the sonography center, the machine is sealed and the complaint is filed with the judicial magistrate first class. When the matter goes to the court, it is up to the court to decide whether they will release the machine or not. But yes, the authority can decide whether they want the person to operate the machine or not. That's a separate thing.
Right.
So we are not punishing the machine, we are not against the sonography machine, we are not against the technology. We are against the practice of sex determination.
True.
We are against the practice of, revealing the sex to the person whoever come for it. So now the whole thing is, I gave you one example, like in Rajasthan. I mean, Rajasthan is the state who has filed a number of cases, the highest number of cases. There are over 177 cases filed against the sonography centers, for not for revealing the sex, but just for not complying with the rules and provision of the P.C.P.N.D.T Act. So now the seriousness level has gone up. Now every state is showing little bit of seriousness.
Absolutely.
Punjab is showing, Gujarat
That
is
is true.
showing, UP,
Well, yeah,
Maharashtra,
we've gone to that, but now again I would like to come to you here, Dr. Mehta. Now when you hear things like these, and I'm sure when you meet people like these in your clinics also, do you actually see the mindset changing anywhere, even a little bit? I'm sure it is the educated class that is coming to you.
No, all classes come to us, and I would say that in some cases, still people, they are longing for male child, and sometimes their attempts are like so far-fetched that in the end they end up with a mentally handicapped child, because the maternal age has increased by that time, and number of abortions and other things have been there, and then they are selling their land and everything again for that this child should, and many times they always will come and say, this is our only child, and when you take history, there are 4 other sisters also, but they are ignored, and they say that nahi, bachcha to yahi hai. They are not even considered as that. But somewhere along the line also now changes are being seen, and in that like I was telling that it's easier to see, because we are seeing more in a clinic setup, more boys are coming with mental problems, behavioral problems, and also when you get to know, and these are children, so you know the history and all. So then somewhere along the line, I think people are also realizing having a healthy child is more important than having a male child. So some change is coming, but still we cannot say that there is a complete agreement or to this that any child would do, that is not still the case.
Because since we have Mitu right here. So Mitu, then what was life for you after that, once you decided to move out of your house with the 2 girls, then what kind of cases have you been fighting?
I mean, like initially I had filed the complaint with the police station, but as is the trend, crime against women still, police stations, judiciary, everybody says ki you do a settlement and go back to your husband. So for over 3 years, the matter was held up between doing counseling, mediation, meditation and all that stuff. For 3 years, I was being counseled and the counseling sessions were being held. And after that, the cases have been filed under domestic violence, under P.N.D.T, and yes, the cases are going on. But it's again another 3 years since I have filed the cases, and I won't say they have progressed much. Still
Okay, so Mitu, in your heart of hearts, have you ever regretted for a moment that I came out of that house?
No.
For a moment?
Not at all.
Right.
Whenever I see my little daughters, they are the strength for me to go on. I mean, I know that my parents educated me, they made me a doctor, and still if this could happen to me, how do I protect my daughters when they grow up?
That's right.
I mean, this fight is so that when they grow up and when they are to become mothers, being the mother of a child is not, of a girl is not a shameful thing, and they're not harassed by each and every person, the society, because they are the mothers of girls. That is one reason which makes me go on and not surrender to all the pressures that are put on.
That's right.
That I know that if today I withdraw, then, like, people will say, ye bhi khadi hui thi, dekho baith gayi. And then any other woman who wants
to what
are
the kind of pressures that you had to face, if you would want to talk a little bit about that?
I mean, pressures have been like, right from bribes.
Okay.
Up to 3 crores.
Okay.
To threats. Threats that even like I was in a government service, I was threatened that I'll be raped if I do not withdraw my cases. I had to leave the job. Daily going to the court for the past 3 years. I always go to the courts. Hardly anything, the mentality of almost every authority is that she is the criminal. She's standing up against her husband-in-laws or something which is so basic. Even we in our houses want sons. So what is wrong that her husband has done? He has not done anything wrong. it is she who is wrong in dragging her in-laws to the court, to the extreme that one senior government official, I won't like to name, she even told me that तुम्हारी बेटियां पैदा हो गई ना, अब गड़े मुर्दे क्यों उठा रहे हो? File a case under domestic violence and forget about it. I mean, that is the level of thinking that P.N.D.T Act is not about female feticide, it is about sex determination. Sex determination is the crime here. I managed to save my daughters because my family brought me out of that house because my father stood by me. That is why.
Right.
But then every other second authority is seeing that with a doubtful eye ki betiyan, I mean, like even in written government reports, there is birth of twin live female daughters. So there is no sex determination test. Though the fact, I mean, they have given it in an inquiry committee report that she has given birth to daughters, so there is no evidence of sex discrimination. And today, the accused are using that report as a shield, that the government has given this report.
That's right. Mitu, well, let me just bring in this viewer. This is Anwar Said from Pune. So, Anwar, if you're there with me, what is it you'd like to share with us?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Opening the program with the bachchans is not only irrelevant, but very indignant. Like cuddling a small newborn, they have done something path-breaking. We love our daughters as much as the bachchans love. And
that's exactly what I said. That does one need to be a bachchan?
Listen. He is the ambassador of the state where there is the highest rate of female infanticide and where girls like Ishad Jahan and many others have been massacred in cold blood. I have not heard a single word from this gentleman. Just because in public he's cuddling, you are giving you are opening the program like he's done something path-breaking. This is irrelevant and this is indignant.
Well, Mr. Anwar, I think your anger is totally, I mean, I don't think I'm going to take it because that's exactly what I said, that does one need to be a bachchan to be able to appreciate daughters. I think that is the sentence which was the crux of it all and which you sadly missed. Well, time for us to slip into another break. When we come back, this discussion will continue. Back in a moment. Welcome back. This is Gender Discourse and today we are talking about the girl child and how daughters are actually a blessing for all of us. Well, right now we are joined by Ritu from Delhi. So, Ritu, welcome to Gender Discourse.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, very good evening to you. Please go ahead.
मैम आज का टॉपिक मैं देख रही थी, मैंने अभी टीवी ऑन किया, थोड़ा लेट हो गया मुझे ऑन करने में और टॉपिक को देख के तुरंत मेरे माइंड में जो विचार कौंधा था, कुछ दिनों पहले मुझे मैंने इस टॉपिक पे कुछ मेरे मन में जो जहन में जो आ रहा था उसको मैंने नोट डाउन किया है और मुझे लगता है इन 4 लाइन में इसका सारा जवाब है कि क्या बेटियां ब्लेसिंग हैं। तो मेरी बेटी तो मेरे लिए बिल्कुल ऐसे जैसे महामृत्युंजय का मंत्र होता है, तो वो मैं शेयर करना चाह रही थी वो कुछ लाइनें आप लोगों के साथ।
जी, प्लीज गो अहेड।
महामृत्युंजय का एक मंत्र जैसे बचा लेता है अकाल मृत्यु से, संगीत की हल्की ध्वनि जैसे रच बस जाती है आत्मा तक, एक अल्हड़ मस्ती जैसे ठोकर मारती है रास्ते के पत्थर को, एक सुनहली सुबह जैसे भुला देती है रात की गहरी कालिमा को, बढ़ जाता है यश सूर्य को अर्घ देकर जैसे बढ़ जाता है यश सूर्य को अर्घ देकर, जैसे चमकने लगता है भीतर का तेज नूर बनकर चेहरे पर, जैसे नीचे लगने लगता है आसमान, जैसे हम छूने लगते हैं बादल, जैसे हम भरने लगते हैं हथेलियों में बारिश, जैसे हम लगाते हैं तुलसी का चौरा, जैसे हम झुकते हैं मंदिर में आरती के सुर पर, जैसे हम झुक जाते हैं मंदिर में आरती के सुर पर, वैसे ही तुम्हारा बोलना मुस्कुराना मुझे लगता है।
Mitu, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really wish we had time to listen to the rest of the poem, but I do appreciate the thought that there is behind it. Well, coming to you here, Rima, now we are talking about women, you know, coming out of it and taking a stand and everything. But don't you think that it is the support system that is really important so that women like Mitu can actually come up and give it a fight?
Yeah, in fact, somewhere down the line, Mitu did say that if I did not have an adequate support system, who knows what would have happened. I may have just gone back. I hope not, but you know. So somewhere what we need to do is that mindsets need to change. What we need to do is somewhere empowerment of women has to come about. And when I'm talking about empowerment of women, I just don't mean, you know, social empowerment. I also mean economic empowerment. So what has to happen is that you ensure that a girl is not just enrolled into school, she completes her education. You ensure that she is working. You ensure she is economically empowered. She has the right over the income that she is earning. You don't take it away. You know, unless these things start happening, you ensure there is a social mechanism in place which offers support to women like Mitu or maybe somebody else who just decide to walk out of their homes. Where do they go?
That's right.
At least that feeling of helplessness should not be there. You should know exactly what to do, where to go and whom to turn to. So that mechanism, once that is in place, I'm pretty sure things will improve, and I am already actually quite positive about it. I do think things are undergoing a change. The very fact that we are talking about these things on a public medium means that we are discussing it, we are debating it, means that yes, a change is happening, howsoever minuscule. And I think we have to be the change that we want it to be.
Actually.
Unless we do that, how will it
And
happen?
also, if you talk of the Millennium Development Goals, they also
Yeah,
say the same thing.
2015, India is a signatory to that, and according to the MDG 3, we say we are talking about gender equity by 2015. So I think it's just 4 years down the line. So we need to really step up the pace.
Actually. So let me ask Rizwan whether he thinks that we'll be able to reach that point. You know, not too long for that.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope so. I would like to share my view about, you know, how to address this problem of this sex determination, declining child sex ratio. You know, we actually need to crack on both the sides, the demand side as well as the supply side. There is a demand, so there is a supply. You know. So, I mean, even I heard the Prime Minister talking about, you know, and asking all the Chief Minister to take stringent action against the practice of sex determination and also to mobilize the community on this issue. That's a good actually initiative and good message to the country. Now what we need to do is we have to create a system. You know, I have seen many villages, I have gone to the villages, remote areas. I have seen women like Dr. Mitu Khurana, you know, struggling with their lives. And we have really need to keep the issue of the pressure which actually is mounting on women to undergo sex determination test. You know, all this needs to be brought under the violence against women, this issue. And we have to, like Rimaji said, we really need to, you know, mobilize, build the capacity of women, do some work for women empowerment. On the other hand side, we have to equally, I mean, in equal proportion, we have to see that the unethical practitioners stop doing this kind of practice, you know, kind of facilitating the mindset of the people.
There should be severe punishments for that.
Yeah, and facilitating the mindset of the people actually who are come with a desire for a son. First, they have to say no, and we as a civil society, we have to start mobilizing and, you know, changing the mindset of the people, you know.
And we have to target the doctors also. I mean, they are the guilty party. And the brotherhood of doctors is so strong. You know, one doctor will not squelch on the other one.
Right.
Why not? After all, you've all undertaken the Hippocratic Oath. So
Actually.
Absolutely. So you should be, no, I know, I mean, I don't mean you in particular, but I mean doctors as a community. If they were to take a stand, how do you think this would happen? This would never ever happen to a large extent.
And we as a civil society organization have to keep this issue going. We need more debate on this issue, more discussion
and
around.
the sad thing is that, you know, more and more private practitioners are coming into the picture. Government doctors, you can clamp down on them, but 95% of the population is going to the private doctors. You need to have some kind of regulation of these private doctors, perhaps begin by stopping the private medical colleges.
Well, let's just bring in this last caller of the day. This is Saini from Kerala. So Saini, if you're there with me, welcome to the show.
हाँ जी हाँ नमस्ते मैं ये कहना चाह रही थी कि मैंने युगांडा में भी नौकरी की थी वहाँ पर क्या है कि लड़कियों को दहेज मिलता है हमारे यहाँ लड़कियां दहेज देती हैं मेरे ख्याल से ये सबसे बड़ी वजह है जिससे हमारे यहाँ पे बच्चों की मतलब लड़कियों की हत्या होती है फिटिसाइड हाँ तो मुझे ये लगता है कि ये बदलना चाहिए और एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऐसा आना चाहिए कि जहाँ पर लड़कियां माँ बाप के देखभाल करें जैसे आज लड़के के ऊपर जो जिम्मेदारी है अगर ये बदल जाए तो मेरे ख्याल से सब कुछ बदल सकता है क्योंकि मेरा एक भाई है और मैं हूँ मेरी मम्मी मुझसे ज्यादा मतलब खुश है मेरे उनके तरफ जो प्यार है उससे ज्यादा खुश है और मैं अपनी बेटी से बहुत ज्यादा खुश हूँ मेरे पास सिर्फ एक ही बेटी है मैं ये आपको बताना चाह रही थी कि ये मेरे ख्याल से ये जो स्त्री धन है जो डाउरी है ये सिस्टम रिवर्स हो जाए तो सब कुछ सही हो जाएगा
Actually, you're so right there, Saini. Thank you so much for bringing your views to us. And I think it's very rightly said, you know, that a son is a son till he gets himself a wife. A daughter is a daughter throughout her life. And I really wish that people would remember that. And Dr. Manju,
I think, yeah,
yes, please.
we are going to say about, you know, role of media, because everybody is saying law is not going to do anything. It is the mindset of the people. And in that, media can bring a very important role.
That's true.
And I think some government ads about Parivar Niyojan and all have brought in some change in this. Also, I hear these days people talking about, you know, happily about daughters and all. And also even on the TV serials and all, there are some programs which try to, you know, degrade the women, but there are many others also coming which are trying to show the positive aspects and how they can take leadership. So media will have very important role in changing mindset. And I think women themselves also, if they take this, you know, that this is a war for saving their own gender.
That's right.
And in that they try and, you know, make it that yes, we are going to respect our daughters, we are going to respect ourselves by
And also, Dr. Manju, I'd like to interrupt you just for a moment. Don't you think that it is now high time that we started bringing up our boys and girls equally? And not
absolutely, absolutely, because still, you know, in parenting, the rules and regulations are very different.
True.
The pampering of the boy is there, but and these boys now, when they are growing up and then living alone, they need all these skills. So right from the beginning, day one, the parenting has to be same for boys and girls.
Actually,
you're very right.
And begin with the school textbooks. Don't have the stereotyped images, you know.
But yes, finally, what are your comments going to be, Mitu? Now, what are you hoping from this case? Because we would really give you all our best wishes regarding this. But as a woman who's suffered and who's also stood, and the kind of support that you had, what is the kind of encouragement that you would like to give the women out there, someone who may still be contemplating going out?
Yeah, ma'am, I would like to first point out, like when I was studying, I was doing my medicine, that was I passed in around 2000. We were not being taught about P.C.P.N.D.T Act. And like, because we are two sisters and we have been brought up like, I mean, totally freedom and everything, as given full freedom. So female feticide was never an issue in our minds, and we never even knew that this occurred. But, and so when it was a very big cultural shock when I faced this violence. But today, like along with Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Nanda, who is the professor in Miranda House, I have been visiting colleges, we have been talking to students, and even on every International Women's Day, we have been holding marches and painting competition for school kids. So an encouraging trend is that even the youth now today is not ignorant like me. Like I was of that age. Today, even the children, they know that they have to fight against it. So, I mean, like, we should end on a positive note. So I would say that the youth which is coming up, they are aware of it and they are ready to take a stand. So, like, perhaps one of the reasons why my suffering has been because not many women have come forward. There is not much of sensitization, but now the sensitization is happening. So I can see a positive trend in future.
Absolutely. And you're so right, Reema, that yes, gender sensitization has to begin from the school curriculum. I'm totally with you on the same page on that one. I think if that is not done, then we can't really expect too many changes taking place. And of course, the family setup has to be different.
The family dynamics has to change. Women have to be a part of decision making. Unless that happens, you know, how can you talk about empowerment of women?
Just before coming here, I asked my father, "Okay, Papa, what would you like to say about me?" He said, "I would like to just give one example." He's an orthopedic surgeon. He says that whoever, I mean, he is above the age of 60, 70 and he is down with a chronic illness. When he comes, and if he doesn't have a daughter, he always says, "I wish I had a daughter because my son doesn't look after me and I wish I had a daughter to look after me."
That's what I said. People everywhere want daughters, but somehow strangely they don't go in for daughters.
Right. So, well, let me say thank you to all four of you for coming today and for bringing up this issue, which I think needs a lot more discussions. So, thank you so much. And me too, my special thanks to you for sharing your personal story so beautifully with all of us. Well, people, I think what we've come down today is with this, that yes, let's stop thinking or designing our families. As one of my panelists said, that designer families are the in thing today. So let's not really design our families. And let's bring up our boys and girls equally. Let's not treat them, let's not see them differently, because they're actually the same. Because tomorrow when they grow up into a society, they better be sensitized. And this gender sensitization has to begin from school, from the first unit, that is the family. So let's all keep this in mind, that women are a very integral part of our society. We cannot do without them. So with that, it's a wrap-up of today's edition of Gender Discourse. I'll see you next week with something equally engaging. Till then, this is Lottie Alaric saying goodbye and take very good care of your girl child.